All right, here's part 3. So they take my husband away, and I'm stuck there with absolutely nothing. The plates on my car are fake, I just realized. And I had no money, I had nothing, and I had 3 young kids plus his son. So the first thing I did was exactly what he told me to do. I had Stockholm Syndrome so badly. So I immediately called his mom and I said, hey, they just took Carl. She said, what do you mean they took Carl? Who took Carl? And I said, the police just took Carl. And she starts screaming how this is all my fault, how if he never would have met me, none of this would have happened to him. I didn't understand what was happening. I said, I don't even know what he did. They said he stole money from the government. I don't even know how that's possible. And she was just screaming at me that it was my fault, but that I better not go anywhere, that I better stay there, I better do what he tells me to. And I was like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. So I hang up the phone with her and I'm like, okay, he said to call my church. So immediately I call my Relief Society president. And I said, hey, my house just got raided. My house just got raided by the police. And I don't know what to do. They took everything and I don't understand what's happening. And she said, oh my goodness, okay, just stay calm. I will be there in a little bit. I will let the bishop know. And I was like, okay. And I go upstairs and I look around and they had destroyed the house, guys. Like, they had ripped everything apart. And I was like, I don't know what to do except start fixing things. And I had a friend that I had made, and my ex hated her, but she was somebody that I trusted. And so I called her and I said, our house was just raided by the police and by the Attorney General's office. And she was like, what are you even talking about? And I was like, yeah, our house was just raided. And she was like, okay, I'll be there as soon as I can. And she was like, what does your house look like right now? And I was like, it's destroyed. And she said, where are the kids? I said, they're downstairs. And she said, okay, you need to start picking everything up. You need to start putting everything back where it went. And she's like, just get your house, start getting your house together. I'll be there as soon as I can. So I just started getting all my house together. I didn't know what else to do. I was on autopilot. You guys, when you go through something like this, there's no like reasoning that comes through your head. You're straight up on autopilot. Like, I didn't know how my body was moving. It was like an out-of-body experience where I was just doing. So I start fixing everything, doing everything. My Relief Society president eventually comes over and she was like, do you know what happened? I showed her the search warrant. She read through it. She's like, okay, Bishop will be here tonight when he gets out of work. Like, what can we do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't have food. Like, he was supposed to go grocery shopping that day, so there was no food in the house. I was like, I don't have any way to feed my kids. And she's like, you don't worry about that. She was like, we'll get an order in and you'll have food. And she's like, we'll get you guys something. And then my friend showed up and she was like, I will make sure that you and the kids have lunch. Like, what do you need? And she calls some of her friends and all of a sudden there's like women who are coming in and out of my house, like helping me with my kids, taking them to the park, trying to help me fix my house. Like, a grocery order came, like a bunch of stuff started happening where I was like, okay, at least my kids are going to be okay. And then the phone rang and it was him from jail. And I answered the phone and I was like, hello. And he's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm at home. And he was like, so I have to tell you guys this. So they took all the electronics in the house. Okay. My cell phone, they tried to take it. They, meaning like the people who were taking all the evidence. They tried to take it and I was like, you cannot take my phone. And they're like, we have a warrant for all the electronics. I was like, you cannot have my phone. I have literally nothing else. You're taking all of my money. I can't have a car. You're taking my husband. I have no access to anything and you cannot take my phone too. I don't even know anybody's phone number. I don't know what I would do. And so the main guy that was actually the detective on everything, he was like, okay, you're not taking her phone. And he was like, just leave her her phone. She just leave her her phone. And he's just amazing. And so I had my phone and I was like, I'm at home. And he was like, did you call my mom? I was like, yeah. And I was like, do we have to bail you out? I don't understand what's happening. And he was like, just don't tell them anything. Just don't tell them anything. I was like, I wouldn't even know what to tell them if you asked me to tell them something. Like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. So I had 2 little kids. My twins were 4 at the time. And they have sensory processing disorder, and so they were really attached to like their tablets. If you guys have any kids who are on the spectrum, you know that sometimes they get really attached to tablets, right? So their tablets are gone, and these are like little kid tablets, and they're just gone. And I was like, oh my God. So they're starting to lose their mind. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And the investigator had left me his card, and it was sitting on my counter, and I was like, they have all of our electronics. So I pick up the phone, and I call him, and he answers. And so it was not him, but it was like the junior investigator that answered. And he was like, hey, so if you need to tell me anything, I have to tell you that, before I can tell you anything or you can tell me anything, like, I have to advise you that you should get a lawyer. And I was like, I don't know what you think I'm going to tell you. I don't know what you think I know, but all I want is my kids' electronics back because they're freaking out. And then the main investigator on the phone, he's like, I'm so sorry, Andrea. Like, we will get you these electronics as soon as we have somebody go through and clear them. As soon as we clear their tablets, which ones are they? And I told him, he's like, I will try to get them through processing in the next 2 days. I will come hand deliver them to you when we can. And I was like, I don't know what you guys think that I'm going to tell you or what that I'm able to tell you, but I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. And he was like, I understand that. And he was like, have you ever thought about not being there? And I was like, not being where? And he's like, at your house. And I was like, no, like, I have to stay here. I have to stay here because Carl told me to stay here.